Hello Sharks, Mr. Solis here. Today we're going to go into Photoshop. So I'm going to click on my desktop picture so I can get in my Finder up here. If I go to the Go menu and Applications, I can go and get Photoshop. So Adobe Photoshop, we have 2021 here. I'm sure it will be updated over in the summer for 2022 next year. So we get all the way over here, and then we'll just double click the icon and it opens it up. First started in 1990. Photoshop's been around for a long time. So you might get these images that were open on your computer during the last time. Sometimes you'll get something that looks like, I'm gonna just erase everything and do it again. So the first time you open it up, it generally looks like this. You can open up files by dragging things into this window and this window only. If you drag them into an image, you'll place the pixels, and that's a bad idea. So I generally go in and say open. You can open from here, you can open cloud documents, but we're going to be working on our computer here. Here's my desktop, and I'm just going to open up some test photos here. These are all raw files, so that's not going to work. Let's see. How about going manual? The originals. There's some JPEGs that you guys can see. Now, if I just double click on an image, it'll open it up here in Photoshop. Now, this whole image, we're zoomed out to 33%. So this is a really large file, and the number of pixels across the top and across the side, when you multiply those out, that's how you get the megapixels. Sorry, excuse me. The things that we're going to do today is actually based on Mondrian, so we're not going to be using photos at all, but I just wanted to show you that you can actually like click and drag this window out like a tab, and then you can also click it back in. This here is our background down here. I've taught you guys already, like if you want to start editing something, you're going to go and duplicate layer, and then you just click that one, and you always work on the background copy and not the background pixels. That's for another day. So I'm just going to close this and say don't save because I don't need it at the moment. What today we're going to do is go over here to create new, or you can go up to here and say file new. So these things on this window here, like create new and open, they're under file, and you guys need to understand that file is going to be used all the time. So file new, file open. Down here we got save and save as. Save as is the command that we use in this class so that you know where your things are going and you're naming them correctly. So I'm going to create new. It's going to give me some ideas here. Up here I'm just going to go up to photo. I'm going to go to print and letter size, and so it'll be 8.5 by 11 at 300 pixels per inch. 300 pixels per inch is the minimum for print materials. For the screen, it's different. I'll tell you later. So I'm going to click OK. Now, I have this image. It's a bunch of white pixels. If I go over here to my layer, if I take the eyeball and turn it off, it will go into being transparent. But for right now, the pixels are just white. Each pixel has 256 levels of red and green and blue and brightness. So there's a lot of information in even just one pixel, and so we can actually see down here on the bottom our image size is 2550 pixels by 3300 pixels. So it gives us an idea like what the size is in like real life space. So what I want to do is I want to show you guys the move tool. This move tool helps you move things. It's pretty simple. And then we're going to start working with some selection tools. So today we're going to use the rectangular marquee tool. If you click and hold, you can see all these other ones. And so, excuse me, if I just click the rectangular marquee tool, I can click and drag and then edit something inside this area. See how the cursor changes from the crosshairs to this little dot pattern? This little dot pattern going around are called marching ants, and these are the pixels that are selected. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to click out of all this. I'm going to create a new layer. So up here at layer, I'm going to say file, layer, new, and layer. Now this layer has nothing in it whatsoever. So if I turn off the background layer, this thing is got the checkerboard on it. And if you ever see checkerboard, that means it's clear. So imagine it was just printed on like a piece of acetate. So I want to work on the top layer. You always work on a new layer on top. And what I want to do is I'm going to work in the style of Mondrian. I'm just going to start creating some kind of lines. And a line is just longer than it is wide. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to pick a color. So over here is my color picker. There's one corner that's in front of the other. Tell you this is the foreground color and that's the background color. So if I click here to choose my foreground color, I'm just going to pick this color right here. And then I'm going to go over down, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 now. This is the brush tool. So if I click out here, nothing's happening. If I click inside my selection, I can start painting. So it's the paintbrush. It works just like a spray can or rattle can, or if you guys are used to doing graffiti. Up here we have some tools. I don't want you guys using this one just yet, but here's the tools. I can make it the size go bigger and smaller. So I'm gonna get a pretty big one. And what I want you guys to do, this, well, it says hardness, and I know it's a weird term, but it's a matter of like how soft your brush is. So I can have really soft edges, as you can see. If I just click a couple times, these have really soft edges. But I want to fill in this whole area. Instead of having to like squiggle back and forth and over again, I'm just going to get a hard brush. So 100% hard brush, I can actually just make really hard edges. And I'm just going to go fill this in. So and then I can go up to select and deselect. And now I got to line that. So I'm going to go back to my marquee tool. I'm going to make some more shapes here, and I'm going to get my brush tool. If I use the right bracket tool, I can get bigger. Left bracket tool, I can get smaller. So that's a little keyboard shortcut for you. And then Command D is deselect. And do you see how I missed a little bit over here? Maybe I want to continue that over. Maybe I want to like select this and move it over. What I can do is go over here to another selection tool, and this is called the magic wand tool. It only works really well with flat color like this. So I'm going to select this. I'm going to get my move tool, and I can actually just move it over. So I'm going to move this over a little bit. I'm going to deselect by pressing Command D. I'm going to get my marquee tool, which is just the M key. As you can see, I'm switching the tools up here, but I'm not having to go back and forth. So keyboard selections are really super great. I'm going to hit my B for my brush tool, and I'm going to go get a different color now. Let's get something really shocking. Shocking, bro. Now I'm going to start making some really long lines going down across. I'm going to hit B for brush tool. Go back to M for marquee tool. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get a variety of shapes here, and I'm trying also not to just put a line straight in the middle and straight in the middle, vertically or horizontally, so that it won't just cut the image in half. Oops, I grabbed the wrong thing. I can put it back, it's no big deal. So you guys get the idea. I'll show you the sample at the end of this video of what it should finish and look like. But you guys get the idea. What I want to do is get the brush tool again and just go keep putting that in. And then if I missed a little bit up here at the top, so be it. It's not that big of a deal. So shocking colors are great because then I can really check and see that you guys are learning some stuff. If you want to get advanced, I can actually go and up here and say layer, new layer. And then I can go and make some more selections. Get my brush tool. So right now it's just toggling between the M for marquee tool and the B for the brush tool, the M for marquee tool. And this is the fun part, because if you start planning ahead, I'm going to deselect by Command D. If I take this layer and put it underneath this one, look what happens. Things come forward, those colors go back, and then we can start playing around and almost start making plaid if you want to. There's one last thing I want to show you, is that over here on our layers palette, I'm going to pull it out just so you guys can see. So we have our background layer, that's just the white pixels. We have layer 1, because I dragged them in a different order. We have these on this layer and this on this layer. Now, there's a cool thing that you have to know that how to do it, and your layer has to be selected. See how this one's highlighted instead of this one? If I take this one that's on top, I can go up here to our opacity and I can bring our opacity down, which means you can start to see through it and watch what happens to the colors. So they get faded and you can kind of start to see through them. And also this red starts to look like that buffalo plaid shirt that I'm wearing today. You know, at least I got a new one. The old one was really super faded like that. I'm gonna make a new layer. Here's another way to do it. Down here, there's a trash can to delete a layer. There's this plus button to create a new layer, and here's a new one on top. And you can also go, and I'm gonna grab my marquee tool. I'm gonna grab one last color. And I'm just gonna make some really small squares. I'm gonna hit my B for the brush tool. Marquee tool, brush tool, marquee tool, brush tool. I know this is really boring sounding, but marquee tool, brush tool. Now, if I get this and start moving this one down, we can start making some more interesting shapes that end up being down here. And that's what Mondrian was doing with some of his work, is that he was trying to find the beauty and simplicity of life just in colors, shape, line, and not even forms, because these were all just flat space. So he painted these. We can make 5 or 10 of these in 10 minutes. I need you guys to pick some interesting colors, at least 5 different colors. Start filling this space, but I don't want all of the white space covered. And have fun with it. Try a couple different things. If you need help, I'll be here helping you out. But this is a nice little intro to learn that the selections are the most important in Photoshop, because we have to tell the pixels what to do. If we're in control of the pixels, then we are in control of our own artwork. And that's it. So how about some really dark color just for some depth here? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on this layer and watch how I can get these to kind of interplay with each other. You know, interplay, it's a good word. So, marquee tool. I don't even want to go all the way across on this one. And what I'm trying to do is really just move your eye across left and right on the screen. And then I can start doing some vertical ones. And as you can see, some colors are in front of others, some colors are behind others, and this is really how you start making some fun stuff and you start to see in a new way. And that's what photography does, that's what digital media does. It makes us see in a new way so that we can start to be creative in our own way, because your choices matter and you matter. So this is Mr. S signing out. This is the beginning of a fun little project. If you want to take these tabs, we can put them back in here. And then we're gonna go File, and you're gonna say Save As. Now we have to tell it where to go. So we're always gonna save it on our computer, so we're gonna not show it again. This tells me where I can save it, so I'm gonna put it in my desktop. I'm gonna make a folder called Mondrian. And this one, I'm gonna change the title to my last name. My last name is Mr. today. And then I'm going to have you title it Mondrian. So it'll be your last name, your first name, and Mondrian. This will be a PSD file. And then just save it. We need 5 done by the end of today. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Bye.